And good afternoon, and welcome back to another episode of the Grimaldo Group. Juan Grimaldo, and my name is Angel Ramos. How are you, Juan?
Terrific, sir. How are you?
I'm doing very well. It's October 31st. We're going into November.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? The
It
year
is
has gone
crazy.
by fast.
Man, I can't believe it, but hey, here we are, right?
Yeah, and it's been a good year, has it not?
It's been a beautiful year. We're blessed. I think we live in the most beautiful country in the world, and I'm grateful for that, aren't you?
Well, and the Grimaldo Group has exceeded the transactions, the sales, the relationships established
100%.
from what happened last year. And
Definitely. We're already above what we sold, and they this year they said it was a little harder than last year, which it could be, right?
yeah,
Because of the rates. Yeah, so people are struggling, especially agents that are especially fairly new. They don't know how to handle this market, and those that were in the market for the last 2 3 years that were kind of accustomed to the quick transactions. So
Yep. I mean, it can be challenging, but nonetheless, you have to put your game face on and bada bing, bada boom.
exactly.
Speaking of games, what's going on in then Phoenix?
I'm not a big fan of sports, as you can imagine. I think you are, right?
Not really, because the only sport I really have is making sure I make my wife happy. And that in itself is my special project. So
Love it, love it. So yeah, the Diamondbacks are about to hopefully win
the
the
World Series. And the
Yeah.
last time that happened was when?
2001. It's funny because actually, I took my dad to a baseball game, and I couldn't afford to take him to the nice seats. So my father passed about 12 years ago, but I have a beautiful moment then because my daughter Helen was a baby. She was a baby, and at Fry's they used to sell this package where for $7 you get popcorn, soda, and a ticket.
Mhm.
You need binoculars though to see the game because it was
Yeah.
so far. It was the last. What do they call them? Nosebleeds.
But you were in the World Series.
Dude, my father was having a blast, but at the same time, as he was watching the game, he was also like, the girl's so small, you shouldn't bring her here. It's going to ruin her ears because
Yeah.
she was so little and it was super loud. But we had a good time. I got good memories out of that.
Was it where it wasn't this park, right? It wasn't downtown.
It was Bank One Ballpark.
Okay.
It
So
used to be called Bank One Ballpark, and Chase bought Bank One many years ago. And actually, I had the honor to work for Bank One Chase. So
well, here we are again, World Series in town, and we had the Super Bowl.
100%.
So we had the Super Bowl, and the Suns are playing. So there's a lot of activity taking place downtown for today, and it's for those that celebrate Halloween. It's October 31st. There's going to be a lot of parties and things happening downtown as well.
Yep.
In addition to with the World Series, there's continuing development taking place in the Phoenix area, but specifically the West Valley. And one of those is the Vi Resort, that whole big complex off the 101 in the Glendale area.
Definitely. It's a high end complex. They're going to have quite a bit. I don't remember the amount of rooms, but it's going to be amazing. What they're trying to do is attract international crowds, which I think they will achieve that. It's a very beautiful place. It's going to have many amenities.
What's going to have? I saw the roller coaster already. So
Yeah.
they're going to have like an amusement park, I take it.
I think it's called the is it Mattel House or the
So
Mattel
it's,
House.
it's all bunched up. You got the Vi or
Vi.
Resort
Mhm.
complex and everything that comes with that, and then the amusement park. And that's where you have the Cardinal Stadium in
Mhm.
close proximity. You have the Diamond Casino, which is a big
Huge casino.
Lots of stuff happening, and then you have NASCAR not too far
Mhm.
south of the I-10.
Yep.
So the West Valley is happening.
There's a lot going on, and more coming here soon. In the Northern and the 303, for those that are familiar with the city, they're also building another casino, which is part of the Desert Diamond brand. And there's so much. I mean, I can go on and on. There's a right by your neck of the woods. It's called Prasada, which is a new development,
Yes.
a mall, right?
Yep.
And there's new place. They already have a Black Rock opened up, Buffalo Wild Wings. We didn't get paid for this, guys. So if you're considering sponsoring us, that's awesome. But there's plenty of nice places. I know you like wine, so Cooper's Hawk is going to
Yeah,
open that.
that's fine dining.
Fine dining and wine.
Yep. So I'm happy about that because when I first moved out here, none of that existed. You had to drive, a distance. And now Surprise has become, in essence, a little Scottsdale, if you will.
Yep,
Of
they
the
call it
West
Castle of the
Valley.
West Valley. Yeah.
Yep.
So the other thing that I was going to share is I've been here for 22 years, And this mall was supposed to be back in 2005, 2006. But as you know what happened, the market crashed and everything was halted. So for many, many years, that place was just, vacant. There was nothing. There was just land.
Well, I've been here 5 years so far, come January, and I have seen tremendous development taking place, but very well thought out, very planned.
Yep.
And that's what makes it even more special because you just don't want to build just because.
Exactly. And they're always thinking ahead. A lot of the freeways are actually planned out ahead of time. So I don't know if you noticed, but on the 303, there's already an extra section of it so that they don't have to interfere with traffic, which I think is genius, right? You go to California, they're like eternal construction. There's always something going on the roads, and it's already packed. And I remember actually lived in Santa Ana, and they were always buying property to knock the houses down and, extend even just the regular roads inside the city. But here, the infrastructure is amazing. It's planned out for 20, 30 years ahead.
Now, that's Surprise. We spoke about Glendale, and we spoke about even Avondale, where NASCAR is. But there's another special area in the West Valley. It's Verrado.
Oh, yeah.
Did I pronounce that correctly?
Verrado. Verrado. It's...
Verrado.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very beautiful development neighborhood. You have homes of all kinds. You have from mansions to condos, townhouses, regular homes.
Pretty good mix.
Very nice mix. So you have state-of-the-art golfing and nice restaurants in the vicinity there, and more that is coming down the pike.
Exactly. They open up a Costco south of the freeway, which is also attracting more and more businesses, and little by little.
Yep.
There's actually, back to Prasada, they're opening cold beers and cheeseburgers, which they actually have one already here in Verrado, which it's packed every single day. Seems like it's pretty good. We actually had a burger the other day with Helen and her boyfriend. It was good.
It seems like Costco arrives and then everything else starts developing.
Right.
And so this Costco in the south side of Verrado opened up in July, and now all kinds of developments taking place. New Bosch's supermarket and many other stores and restaurants. Because again, one of the challenges about Verrado before was you had to drive a distance to get to a Costco, to get to a restaurant, and so on. But that's not the case anymore.
Yep.
So,
it's a beautiful community, but you're right. I mean, a lot of people would be like, well, if I have to go anywhere, I have to drive. And Buckeye is also developing very nicely, which has a lot of stores as well, and it's growing. And as you were speaking about Verrado, they're developing one of the nicest malls here in town. The developer of Desert Ridge is going to be developing that as well, which is going to be a high-end mall. Lots of great things coming to our valley, man.
yes, and it certainly makes us even happier. I mean, I was happy when I first moved out here, but I like having these amenities in close proximity. I don't like driving quite a distance to get to these amenities, and now we have it here. And you can also have it as well.
Yep.
If you're looking to purchase a home in the West Valley, please call the Grimaldo Group. We're here very happy to assist you in buying your next home.
100%. Give us a call. Again, Verrado is developing very, very nicely. It's a beautiful, quaint community. And not only Verrado, but there's many, many communities. Like in Surprise, where you're at Marley Park, it's a similar vibe community. It's a master plan community. And very similar. And when it comes to the amenities, they have 2 water parks. They have, I think, like 70-some parks, right?
Yes, lots of parks, lots of trees, walking trails, cycling trails. It just makes it for a nice family environment. And I'm very happy that we chose there.
Awesome. Yeah, I like the fact that it doesn't feel like you're in Arizona. I mean, I love Arizona, but it's lush. There's a lot of trees. They're mature trees. So walking, we lived there for a little bit. We have a little rental property in there. And I enjoyed it. I actually didn't want to move out of there. It's a beautiful, beautiful place to get up in the morning, go for a walk.
Yeah, no one was more surprised than I that I was going to live in Surprise, Arizona, because having come from San Diego, it never crossed my mind that I'd be a resident of Surprise.
A Surprise-ian? Is that what it would be? What it is?
Yeah, it reminds me of Surprise, Surprise, Surprise. There was a show, Gomer Pyle, back in the, when I was a kid.
You want to show your age right now?
Negative.
Anyway, so do you know why it's called Surprise?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, the founder, it was a lady, she said that she was surprised that this would ever amount to anything.
She would be surprised if this place ever amount to anything. Yeah, and the other thing is, there's another theory. So I don't know which one's right, but these are legends right out there that people talk about. They say that this town, when you're going to Vegas, if you lived in Phoenix, you would drive and there's nothing. Surprise, there's a little town there. So,
Yeah.
which
But-
one is it right? I don't know, but
But look at it now.
exactly.
Well, I mean, the same thing goes for Scottsdale. I was reading on about Scottsdale back in the 50s. It was just open land. There was
Yeah.
not much there. And it wasn't until Del Webb began to develop it because he struck a deal with a gentleman who had acres and acres. And
he was going to go bankrupt. You said you shared that article
Yeah,
with me,
yeah.
and they came in and saved them. No, something
correct. He had some difficulty getting, financial backing from certain banks that said
Like that. Who builds
no.
in the desert? Who's crazy?
Correct.
Like that, right?
And look at Scottsdale now. Well, it really took off in the 80s. That's when it started. So it wasn't like the 50s he took off. It was through time.
It's been gradual. I mean, if you look in the 50s, this area was arid. I mean, there was hardly anything.
Yep.
From what I heard back even in the 80s, the 10 would end, the freeway, it wouldn't even go across the whole city. You have to go through the streets. Like, how crazy is that, right? You
Well, I
wouldn't be
mean,
able to.
Arizona as a state is a
young
very
state.
young state. It was, it became a state in 1912.
Yeah.
And then it really didn't start seeing any form of development, real development, until the 50s and 60s. And then now it just took off.
Yeah. With the invention of the air conditioning, I mean, it makes it bearable to live here. Like, honestly, I don't see how anybody would live here 100% in the summer. Like, what I heard from people here, the original settlers, is that they had farmland, because this is great farmland, and there's plenty of water. So what they did is they send the wives in the summer to California.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't be here suffering in the,
Well,
with their
now they don't have to do that.
raising the crops. Yeah.
'Cause,
100%.
we're happy to say there's AC.
Yes, and one other thing is, like, a lot of people think that Arizona is a retirement state. It isn't. Like, there's a lot of people that live here full time, and it's a beautiful place. Again, I would never. Let me just give you my story on that. I used to live in California, Santa Maria. Beautiful weather. In the summer, it might get up to 80,
Wow.
and people are dying because it's so hot. So we used to drive through here, going to Mexico, because that was the cheapest way, and that's what we could afford with my dad. And we would drive from Santa Maria, go across here to go to Mexico. And I remember one night, I don't probably was 8 years old. We stopped at a motel, and they had a swamp cooler. I can still remember the smell. And we stayed there, and I come out to jump in the pool. I'm a little kid. I'm excited about that, right? This little motel. And I come out, and I'm like, man, it's so hot. Why do people live here? Like, I couldn't, my mind couldn't just fathom that idea. Like, why would people live in this place? It's so hot in the middle of the desert. And I get these thoughts of, people in those old movies, remember? Like, you go through the desert and people are dying. They're just falling.
Well, some people still have that image of Arizona or
Exactly.
Phoenix. But you know what? You get 2 months of heat, and then you
like
have
maybe 3 months, three and a half.
2 months of intense heat.
Oh, yeah.
And the other hot months are okay.
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like if this summer was short, I know some people say it's longer. I have a pool. It's the best thing in the world, too, besides the AC.
Well, most people do have pools out here. Unlike, for example, in San Diego, you have a pool. If you don't have a heater, well, you're only going to use it for the month of August, because the remaining months, it gets 4 p.m. It starts cooling off, and then the water gets cold. So, like, my in-laws have a pool. They rarely use it because it's chilly.
Cold plunges. You just sent me that video about cold plunges. I believe in them. I actually shower with cold water every morning. But that's a good thing to do right now, right?
It is. It's actually very healthy. But we just recently got into that, and I just talk about it. And I don't do it all the time, but the few times that I've done it, I've seen improvement. So,
Oh, yeah. I feel like $1 billion when I come out of there.
So-
It's crazy, that feeling you get. But anyways, going back to the pools, I mean, you can use a pool here, not year round, because after living here for so long, it's weird how your body just gets so used to the heat. And when it gets to maybe 100, I won't jump in the pool. It has to be like 105, 110.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like, it has to be nice, really super hot so I can jump in. And then actually the water gets a little warm, so.
Yeah. Well, and then in the winter,
Oh, yeah.
you can have a hot tub.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
now you enjoy the hot tub in the winter with a glass of wine and so on. So there's really good things about the West Valley, or in Phoenix in general. 7 million people live in the state of Arizona, of which 5 million live in the Phoenix Raider area.
Love it.
And many are coming to the beautiful West Valley, and you can too. So give us a call, and you can call the Grimaldo Group. We would be happy to sit down with you. If you're out of state, we can certainly meet with you over Zoom and we can provide you with detailed market analysis related to the area.
Yep. We'll share with you what's going on in the city, and we'll fill you in. And just as Angel was saying, we serve the West Valley, and we serve the whole Valley. We have a team, so we can serve you actually nation and even worldwide, right?
We do. I mean, we're with KW, and
Yep.
as you know, KW is, I think, in 20 countries, to include the United States. I just recently was interacting with a market center in Milan, KW Market Center Milan, and I've interacted with some in Mexico. So we have clients of people looking to be assisted with real estate one way or another, and we're here to connect, to vet, to assist, to vet the realtors on
the other side,
end.
yeah.
And we aim to shoot for the stars. For our
Exactly.
clients.
Awesome. Well, again, West Valley is thriving. If you're looking into investing here, we're here to help. If you haven't purchased a home, if you're thinking about selling and moving out of the city, we love the opportunity to work with you.
Awesome. Thank you so kindly, and God bless.
God bless. Take care.